Welcome to Distorted Realities. Here are your hosts, J Rock and Frank Walls.
Welcome to Distorted Realities. My name is J Rock, and alongside me is Mr. Frank Walls.
What up? What up, guys? How you guys doing today? Well, we're ready today for a lot of cryptids, aliens, everything that you guys are looking for. We have them here, So
Yeah.
enjoy.
It's been a great week,
Yeah,
a paranormal
paranormal week.
week for us. So for those of you who don't know, we started our audio podcast on Fridays, and we did a back-to-back, so that way we're able to discuss in some detail everything that's going on with a specific cryptid or legend or any folklore that's there, right? So yeah, it's been great. We did experience something very odd on our
Crazy odd.
yeah, so but we'll get to that in a second. As always, we got to start off with the mentions, and the mentions are the following. If you're a fan of Distorted Realities and you love the show and you like the content, make sure that you do what, Frank?
You can always hit like, subscribe, and also you can go to our merch store and check what we got over there.
So the merch store is the following. https://distorted-realities-shop-.printify.me/products. Let's talk about that for a second.
Over there, you can get nice shirts like this one that I'm wearing right here. Look, with the El Mapinguari from Brazil.
So I got some new ones.
Really?
Yeah. So let's share it with the people.
Bring it on.
So shirt number 1, Moonbase Z.
Wow.
So there you go, Moonbase Z. We got a couple of variants of it. We do have a hoodie version of it. We have one with a smaller print. That's a baseball 2-tone sleeve.
Gotcha.
Item number 2 on the list, In the Gut. And yeah. So that's one of our new designs for the In Search of Aliens section.
Those, I call them the pimp aliens.
There you go.
With that.
And then of course we have design number 3, which is the Invisibles.
Nice.
So we're showing some variety.
I like that style a lot.
We have the Werewolf Legend, which is our first audio podcast. We have it in hoodie, tank top, and this format.
Nice.
We have some hats. We have a lot of information that we keep updating on Printify, and new content we're refreshing all the time.
We got coffee, socks.
Right. So the merch is going. The other good news is that we kind of cut the prices down a bit.
Perfect.
So it should be more affordable. I was looking at the comparisons against other vendors and what they're selling, and pretty much want to keep it in line.
Nice.
So just one more time, https://distorted-realities-shop.printify.me/products.
Nice.
Right. So that's pretty much it for our Printify stuff. And now on to the most important piece, our fan of the week.
Or fan of the week.
So our fan of the week made some recommendations, participated in our first audio cast.
Nice.
By the name of Jacob.
Jacobo in Spanish. Jacobo.
Yes, Jacobo, right? So there you go. Shout out to Jacobo. As you can see, he's using a Frank Walls cup.
Shout out
And
to
right
Jacob.
behind him, I don't know if you can see, he has El Coco coffee blend from
Nice.
Distorted Realities, which is pretty cool. But thank you so much for your love and support, Jacob, and we hope that we keep you entertained and that you keep enjoying the content. And speaking of which, one of the contents was one of them that he recommended.
He recommended,
Right?
from New York.
So we listen to our audience, folks. So it's super important that you participate in the chat. If not in the chat, in the phone calls. So please be sure to just join in whenever you can and go and participate. We're here for you.
Of course.
All right. So with that, if you have an email and you're interested in telling a story, right? You can go to contact@thedistortedrealities.com. In other words, you can go to your email browser and you can use that email address, send us your story. We'll try to convert it into or reproduce it into an AI video, and we can reenact your story as best as possible. Or we can create the AI video and have you tell the story while the AI video plays in the background.
And if you want to keep it anonymous, you can use a different name. We don't
Correct.
have no problem with that.
Correct. So yeah, so that's how you can contact us. And let's talk about the audio cast that took place in
Friday.
Friday. Yeah. So a little bit about it. We was discussing the origins of Ghost.
Yeah.
And in some detail, and Murphy's law kicked in. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, or anything that can happen will happen. And essentially, while I was in the tail end of telling a story that had transpired when I was a kid, it happened, and it ended up being that the lights started flickering.
Oh yeah.
And the power shut down. Now, bear in mind that we did all this knowing that we expected nothing to happen, because typically when it rains, this is when you get your outages. But it was a great day.
It was a sunny day.
And we don't get it often, but this and we're typically getting internet bounces here and there, but nothing like electrical.
Exactly.
Well, it happened, and the thing is that we caught it. We caught it on the audio cast, so we're just gonna share it with you guys so you can hear. It's about 4 minutes long, but just pay attention to it and check it out. We're gonna mute ourselves and listen to the audio. All right, guys, I'm recording this, and I'm gonna upload this into
this light right
hold on. I'm gonna record this session here, because you're probably not seeing what just happened. We're telling this story, and all the lights went off in the house. So we're apologizing for that in advance, but we'll share this in YouTube. We're still kind of freaking out. Is the lights back on the internet?
Oh my God.
What a story. Okay, it looks like the internet is back up. Yeah, we're back up. Okay, good. So just refresh your internet. Folks, you won't believe what just happened. We just had a little incident after I said unalived. Apparently, our electrical decided to fail, and we're over here just laughing about it. I actually recorded that piece, by the way, so that you guys can hear what we were talking about, and I'll probably post it up in YouTube.
That's crazy.
We had an electrical outage. Everything went off, and our circuit breaker shut down. So now I kind of lost my train of thought, because this is crazy.
We're good.
Okay, so we're good. We're live back on the internet. Is Kid Dan on?
I don't know. Let me check. I'm refreshing everything. The first thing that went out was the light over here. And I was like,
What the hell?
what's going on?
You can't make this up. This is something for the records, man. Like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna tell ghost stories anymore. I think that was not it.
Wow.
Let's see. Just give it a second. Let it refresh.
Yeah.
If not, check on live.
I can just close it and open it back.
All right, we should be getting some kind of feedback now. Yeah, we should be good now. Ladies and gentlemen, you wouldn't believe what just happened. After we ended our story, the lights started flickering and our circuit went off. Yeah, that really did happen. Oddly enough. So there you have it, folks. That was a portion of the audio recording that was not played in the live section. As you can see, it was a really spooky event.
Yeah, it was.
And the way it transpired, I was telling the story, and in the middle of saying unalive and jumping into the piece where I talk about the history of where we used to live, lights flickered, power went out, and we ended up going through what we were going through, right? Which was
The lights start flashing. They were like blah 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 blah. I was like, what's going on?
So
here?
we didn't know whether to laugh or be scared about the whole thing, but it was pretty entertaining for us. So yeah, I thought it was good. So now moving on, phone lines are open. If you want to tell your story, jump on in, give us a holler. And if you don't have a story to say and you just want to give us a shout out, call in.
Shout out to Kid Dan, Kid Dan Gaming. How you doing, sir?
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for
Yes,
listening
All
and
right.
watching.
So why don't we move on to the cryptid section?
Let's hit it, guys. Let's go to the cryptid section.
All right. So the first one up, as requested by our fan of the week,
Jacobo,
yes, Mr.
Jacob.
Jacob, the Beast of Sherman.
the beast of Sherman from upstate New York, comes weighing around 400, 500 pounds. Mr. Beast of Sherman.
But you're making it sound like it's a wrestler or something.
Right.
But so the Beast of Sherman. So here's the I guess the synopsis. The Beast of Sherman was actually sighted by a 15-year-old boy in the 1970s, I believe. It's reported as a giant albino Bigfoot-like creature with sloth-like features, right? It has been reported alone or it roams in pairs, right? The interesting part about this is that they associate this animal with a prehistoric creature called the Megatherium,
Wow.
which is a giant-like sloth, right? So this has been one of upstate New York's best-kept secret cryptids.
Wow.
Because I didn't even know about it, and I'm a New Yorker.
You're a New Yorker?
Yeah, I was born and raised in New York.
But the difference is that you're a city boy.
Well, let's be honest.
Jacob
I
is a
think,
country boy.
I can attest to this. When people say you're from New York, they always associate it with the 5 boroughs, right? Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, right, and Long Island.
Gotcha.
Those are like the 5.
The city,
right?
the city area.
The city areas. When you say I'm from New York and you tell them where you're from and you say something like Tarrytown, that's not New York, right? And again, it's a stereotype. It's not what I don't believe that. I believe New York is a bigger state. You have a lot of great states there, a lot of great stories and a lot of great folklore in New York. So this one caught me off guard. I thought it was a great segue. There is no reported, demented things happening with this creature. As you can see, the AI video tells a whole different story. But again, it's just I envision it, and given that this is distorted realities, we tend to play a little bit and massage these characters in a different light, right? For entertainment purposes only.
Gotcha.
So
I got some info here about
Sure.
the Beast of Sherman. It's a creature sighted during the mid 60s, and a boy and his family were repeatedly harassed by a pair of colossal albino creatures that can only be described as giant prehistoric monsters. Admittedly, the evidence surrounding this case is scant in fact. The only known report of this creature comes from a letter printed by Note, the Mothman Prophecies, author and paranormal investigation John Keel, in his tome of a known creature entitled The Complete Guide to Mysterious Being. The letter was written in the 1970s by an identified 15-year-old resident of Sherman, New York, who either withheld his name or request anonymity. Anonymously, yeah. He didn't want to know. He didn't want his name to be known. That's it. In order to avoid the social scandal, it will no doubt cost a young high school student. In his letter, he described a pair of gargantuan white sloth-like beasts that will habitually invade his parents' swamp side property between 1965 and at least the early 1970s. The except of the letter printed by Keel briefed yet in choosing to select it from the scores of the account he had available to him. So interesting, no?
So why don't we segue into talking about this? Give me 1 second. I just want to switch scene. Uh, why don't we segue and speak about this in Spanish so that the audience could understand what the Beast of Sherman is and
Yeah, of course.
what we've said so far.
Yeah, la bestia de, it will be in Spanish will be uh, la bestia de Sherman. Sherman es un área en Nueva York, en upstate New York, no en la ciudad, sino como en el área country, ¿no? Y supuestamente un niño que tenía 15 años describe cómo fue atacado él y su familia por una bestia como estilo como Bigfoot o algo así, pero grande y albina. Eran dos bestias, describe él que eran. Eso fue en los años 1960, 1970. Él describe cómo fueron atacados por esos dos grandes criaturas. Todavía sigue siendo un misterio. So, es una leyenda urbana como tal.
So, ¿cuál es tu opinión?
Mi opinión es que puede ser verdad. Uno nunca sabe. You know? Puede ser una criatura. Puede ser una criatura que todavía esté por ahí, ¿verdad? O que no se haya extinguido, que queden pocos de ellos.
So, ellos lo tienen comparado con la
slot.
criatura, no, con la criatura prehistórica que se llama Megatherium.
Megatherium, que es como un slot
Una
prehistórico.
especie de sloth que era gigantesca.
Un perezoso. En español, un perezoso. Como gigante. Pues se cree que es una criatura que existió, que era prehistórica. Y se puede creer que sea un remanente de esa raza que todavía exista por ahí. Que puede ser porque entre Nueva York y Canadá hay mucho monte, muchas áreas ahí, ¿sabes?
Muchas áreas campestres.
Oh, yeah.
¿Verdad? So we were just saying, what's his opinion on the Beast of Sherman? He goes, well, it's possible, right? Because there's ties to a prehistoric creature, which is the Megatherium. It could be one of those what we call the extinct species that is still roaming around in hiding. New York is a very, outside of the 5 boroughs, which is very small compared to New York, right? Is a very countryside area. Right?
It's big.
It's big and it's mountainous and it's lush and it's filled with forest and wooded areas and things like that. I believe it goes up the Adirondacks. Yeah. Right, which is one of the biggest trails you can take.
I think it collides with Canada. I went one time to
Niagara,
Ogdensburg, New York.
Oh, okay.
That's very high, and also Buffalo. My mom is in Buffalo right now. My sister. So yeah, it's very country and big. It's big.
So I'm gonna give it a yes. I think that as we move along and we start looking and identifying cryptids, there are species that can resemble something prehistoric like. And again, we spoke about the Tasmanian tiger in the audio cast, the first audio cast. And then we had other creatures that we've spoken about that were extinct that are no longer considered extinct. They're just low in numbers, right? This could be one of them, right?
It's like the Florida panther.
Right.
A lot of people don't know there's a panther in Florida. They're very extinct, but there's like 100. I saw one in a zoo. But supposedly it's still around there, around in the Panhandle and in those areas. The Everglades, there's still some of them. So hey,
interesting.
And they're big. It's not like a bobcat. They're big. It's like a panther.
Can it take on Rambo?
I don't know. Rambo is Rambo. Rambo is Rambo.
Yeah. Well, Rambo's not a typical breed of dog. We call him the hellhound. So we just saw a video of a giant schnauzer taking on a mountain lion.
A mountain lion.
And surviving to tell the tale.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he wouldn't tell the tale, right? He'll probably bark it out. But yeah.
They're a fighter. They're fighters.
So overall, I think this is a great start for a cryptid. It's believable. Given the background and the context and the location, because location matters. All in all,
Jacob says in the chat, I live in Watertown, yeah, about 30 minutes away from Canada. You see? Wow.
So you just go there for fun, or
I don't know.
Have you gone to Canada? I guess is the
Have
question.
you been to Canada now that you're so close? So just let us know in the chat,
But yeah, so the Beast of Sherman, we created a AI video for it. all in all, is a great cryptid to talk about. And I think we should play the video.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go.
without further ado, the Beast of Sherman.
The
Wait, let's do it.
beast. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, do it again.
The Beast of Sherman.
The Beast of Sherman.
The Beast of Sherman. In the woods of New York lies a beast of ginormous proportions. It is described as a giant sloth-like creature, albino in nature. They roam alone or in pairs. During the day they appear docile and friendly, but steer clear of the nighttime because they become aggressive creatures. Sightings have been reported. The first one was by a 15-year-old in the 1960s. Experts say this creature may be linked to the prehistoric Megatherium, which roamed the Earth millions of years ago. Who knows how they survived and evolved? Be sure to stay away from the woods at night near Sherman because these giants aren't so gentle.
That was good. That was really good.
That was very, very good.
Up next.
What we got up next? Let me know. Let me know.
The Suu Jant.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
This one comes from Trinidad and Tobago.
That's a heavy hitter.
This one is a really creepy one because you don't know if it's tied to vampiric lore, some kind of voodoo or black arts
I think
by the
Guru.
occult. But there it is, the Suu Jant. All right, location Trinidad and Tobago. This was also by request.
One of the fans, yeah.
One of the fans. So kudos to Isaiah's friend, who brought this one up. And let's talk about this lady. It's described as either an old white lady, we call them hags, right? With a cane, or a black lady with devilishly red eyes. Old lady is just the same. So what does it do, right? So the story behind this is that in Trinidad and Tobago, in the towns adjacent to like the woods or wooded areas, there's a witch, and that witch essentially has the ability to rip off her skin, and she uses molt, like molt. This is what I call molt, M-O-L-T. And she just, the skin turns to molt, and she lights it in fire. She performs some kind of ritual, and then that malt lights up into fire, and it takes her to a trail.
Gotcha.
To a location where she can then go and follow, and then she feeds on whoever that victim is.
Gotcha.
So the thing that was freaking me out was like, how does it just like rip its own skin out?
I heard something like that in Haiti. They're calling them the witches over there.
La bruja.
Yeah, they say that they take off their skin. I don't know why they do that. And then they fly and they can go to your house. And that's why over there people they put salt on the roof. Salt.
Oh.
That way if the witch come, because they're not wearing any skin. There's the salt when they get to their, epidermis.
Right.
They will go away.
Okay.
This is what I got from Wikipedia too.
Go ahead.
Very interesting. It says the Suu Jant is a folklore character who appears as a reclusive old woman or man by day. By night, they strip off their wrinkled skin and put it on a mortar in the form of a fireball. They fly across the dark sky in search for a victim. The Suu Jant can enter the home of their victim through any size hole, such as a crack and keyholes. The Suu Jant sucks human blood from their arms, neck, legs, and other sub-regions while the victim sleep, leaving black and blue marks on the body in the morning. If the Suu Jant draws too much blood, it is believed that the victim will either die and become a Suu Jant or perish entirely, leaving the killer to assume their skin. The Suu Jant practice black magic. Suu Jant trades their victim blood for evil purposes with Basil, the demon who resides in the silk cotton tree.
Interesting.
Wow.
So
That's deep.
so the victims are reported to wake up with black and blues. They don't necessarily end up getting reported unalived,
Mhm.
right? So, wait, I should have never said that.
Don't say that.
I should have never said that because things tend to creep around here.
I don't want the light to
Lights
go
go
off.
off, internet's not working. Yeah, so I found this one very interesting because in the Hispanic culture, we have something similar. But let's retranslate this now in Spanish for the Spanish speaking audience. So, you want to
Yeah,
take it
yeah,
over?
of course, yeah. The Suu Jant. The Suu Jant es una criatura o una historia de mayormente Trinidad, ¿verdad?
Trinidad y Tobago.
Trinidad y Tobago, pero también tiene resemblance acá con eso pasa en Haití también, yo he escuchado. Aparentemente ellos de día parecen una señora mayor o un señor mayor. Por la noche se quitan como su piel y entonces como que se ponen mortar, ¿qué es? Mortar es como,
Muere es como
como
una
carbón,
pasta.
como carbón,
No,
¿verdad?
es una pasta como de aceite
Ujú.
que se usa para
To light something up?
encender algo.
Ok, so se ponen como aceite encima eh, y entonces se prenden como en candela y dicen que pueden entrar, vuelan por el cielo y pueden llegar a la víctima que ellos quieren llegar, por ejemplo, a la casa de la víctima y pueden entrar por cualquier área, hasta por la cerradura, dicen que pueden entrar. Entonces, dice que se alimenta de sangre humana y que mayormente del cuello, las piernas y áreas suaves del cuerpo. Y que cuando la víctima se levanta tiene marcas de moretones, black and blue de eso, en el cuerpo. Y si saca mucha sangre de la persona se puede convertir en un Suu Jant también. ¿Cómo se llama? Dejando, o ellos pueden coger la piel de la persona que ellos matan y coger tu apariencia. Y mayormente eso es magia negra, vudú, todo ese tipo de cosas. Señor que prenda.
So this has a lot of consistencies with Spanish culture, right? But the only difference is that in Spanish culture, when I say Spanish, I mean Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, South American, Latin America,
Caribbean,
right? There's usually ties to religion, right? Like, was the child baptized? If not, they're in trouble. You know, because that's what these witches target.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason with the Suu Jant. It just must feed.
Yeah.
Right. I was under the impression that this would regain its youth or its capacity.
Well, if it kills you, they can take your skin. So if you're a young person,
you can look young.
they can look like young.
But can you feel young?
No, I don't think they're gonna feel.
You imagine that though?
Yeah.
Like they get to do that and they just regain their vigor.
But they probably, when they suck blood, maybe they feel younger or whatever. But then when they got hungry, they probably look older again or something.
Right. Okay. So Suu Jant.
Very interesting. We can do a whole movie of that. Like,
Yeah, we sure can.
right? Like,
We sure can. So I like this one.
yeah.
I like this one because it's tied to so many different. It's like cross cultural. Every culture has their own rendition of it, but the consistencies are there. It must feed on a human. It drinks their blood. I was always confused though as to, is it a vampire? Is it a soul sucker? Right? Like, it's not just feeding on these things, right?
No.
So it just kept me with a question mark. But I like
Yeah.
the question mark.
I heard that from Haiti. The same description. They probably have a different name or something. It could be the same because that's kind of like a Creole. But
Oh, there goes Rambo.
there's a Suu Jant near here. Do we have a Suu Jant?
Yeah, that's Rambo. He sees another dog out the window, and he looks at him as a threat, and he's like, "Oh, that's the hellhound in action." So when you hear that, you know that he's moving around. So yeah, so Suu Jant, all in all, I thought was great. I thought, again, a lot of ties to what we're doing. You want to check on YouTube and see if anybody else is on the line or have any questions or comments.
We got Edwin Ibanez. Hi guys. Hi Edwin.
Hey, what's up, Edwin?
What up?
Thank you for joining in. You know what, Edwin? You get one of the creepy sounds today.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was creepy.
yes, it was. Who else is on?
We got shout out to Kid Dan, Jacob. Yeah.
All right, so we're moving. We're segueing away from cryptids, but before we end Suu Jant,
Suu Jant.
it's actually when I was reading the it's Suu Jant. So yeah, so it was one of those interesting pronunciations. But Trinidad and Tobago, shout out to Trinidad and Tobago. You have a lot of cryptic lore, a lot of
Nice.
interesting stories, and we tend to discuss more of them in the future.
Comment allez-vous?
Yeah,
Comme ci, comme ça.
that's French. but yeah, let's move on. Suu Jant video.
Let's hit it.
Wait, no, we gotta do it right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Suu Jant.
Let's go.
The Suu Jant. In the outskirts near a town of Trinidad and Tobago lies a legendary entity. She is described as either an old white lady with tattered clothes or an old black lady with devilishly red eyes. Legend has it, this lady performs a ritual and begins to rip her skin as she uses that skin to summon a fireball that leads her to her next victim. She then begins her pursuit and enters the victim's home to only have a feast on their blood. It has been reported that the victims wake up with bruised necks. Questions remain. Why does she feed? Why does she only feed on the blood of the innocent? If you are in the Trinidad and Tobago area, be sure to keep your windows closed and your doors locked, as the Suu Jant may have a thirst for your blood.
So that ends our cryptid section.
Wow.
I thought it was pretty cool.
It very interesting. I mean,
Two fan picked cryptids.
you see?
I like that. And again, I just really love this because again, we didn't just build this for the sake of building it.
Mm-hmm.
It was really to create an environment where people can feel inclusive and they can come in and tell their stories or even do fan requests on cryptids and things like that. So just make sure that you like, subscribe, join in on the topics. Give us your opinion, your feedback. It all matters. At the end of the day, we're an evolving show.
Oh, yeah.
We're always trying to outdo ourselves and improve so that we deliver on better content,
Mm-hmm.
right? So cryptid section is done. What is your take on the cryptids?
Oh no, these two cryptids were very, very amazing, interesting, and I can this story I heard it from that happens a lot in Haiti.
Wait, you're gonna tell a story?
No.
Oh no, because we was gonna go switch screens,
No.
put the background music, and as long as there's no ghost involved, we'll be fine.
No. I heard there's a guy that I follow that they used to be like he was an ex witchcraft guy. Now he's with God in the God side, you know. But
Okay.
they talk about all the stuff and it was interesting. I don't even know how it popped up in my feed, but I started listening to him because they were telling a lot of weird stuff that happened in Haiti, and they were talking about this stuff, and I was like, wow. So it resembles identically to the stuff that he was saying about the. They call them witch over there, like
Yeah.
brujas, like, and that's what they do. They feed about from children and stuff. They go to your house and they kind of like suck blood from the kids and stuff like that. Very very weird. That's why they use salt. They put it around their house and their roof to avoid them to go to your house.
They also use that for ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say that again, but yeah, they use it for paranormal activities. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. It is salt is some kind of preventative measure to keep.
Wow.
But the thing is, if something is in, how do you keep it from staying? Right? If you put salt, you're locking it in four walls.
Yeah, right. You're right.
So that means you got to use Vicks Vaporub.
Vicks Vaporub.
That takes care of everything.
That take care of everything.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next segment.
The which one? Which one?
The one that's out of this world.
Oh no, we're going out.
Yeah, we gotta go far away.
We're going out of space.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need.
You know, they're always around.
I keep saying I need to get my foil hat.
He hasn't gotten one yet, but he's going to soon.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go in search of aliens.
Search of aliens.
The first one. I like this one. As we start learning how to prompt more, yeah,
I got something in the chat.
sure.
Going back, I know we're in a different segment, but these just pop up right now.
All right,
about
so
that.
let's pause the in search of aliens.
Yeah.
Let's remove the alien intro and let's go back to our cryptid segment and stop that video.
Yeah.
And yes, go ahead.
Edwin Ibanez says on the chat. My wife said it's similar to the witch from Dominican Republic. They go after children who are not baptized.
So I was right.
You see?
I knew it. I knew it. Thank you, Edwin. Thank you so much for
Wow.
providing feedback. If she has a story or you have a story you would like to tell,
You guys-
the number's on the screen. You could call in and you could win free merch.
Tell your wife to call us, or you can call us and share your story with us. Doesn't matter if it's in English or Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more than welcome to give us a call to 904-803-7327. I repeat, 904-803-7327.
We're gonna need like some kind of infomercial, right?
Right.
But yeah. So in the meantime, we'll continue. If we get a call, then we'll just pick up and pause
Yeah.
whatever we're doing at that point. But we're gonna go to the alien segment and go back to the Accard,
The Accard.
right? I love this look and feel for the Accard, right? Again, this was as described in our top secret book of aliens, right? That's not so secret. You could probably find it online if you dig a little bit. But
Well, it's secret because I didn't know about this until you tell me to. So
we can't use that word anymore. Secret.
because
El secreto.
the secreto.
So I'll do it in English. You do it in Spanish.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So the Accard constellation, the Sextons. Right? Allegiance is unknown. Its intent is unknown. So what do I mean by allegiance and intent? There is a war going on between two species of aliens. One called the Council of Five, i.e. the good guys. And then you have the race Matra, which is the bad guys. Somebody's calling in.
We got a call.
Distorted Realities, J-Rock on the phone.
How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good.
Who's this?
This is Edwin. I wanted to share a little story regarding the part with the witches and the experience that my wife actually encountered.
All right, let's do
years
it. So
back.
hold on one second. Let me go to the talking scene. Put a little bit of background music here. Go ahead and tell your story. It's all yours.
It's very short. And actually, I actually was around in Dominican Republic when that happened. So these witches, this is just crazy. They actually they can hear it on top of, let's say, the lo que le dicen scene, like the
roof
top
of the house.
roof. And you could hear them climbing. You could actually. So one day I was sleeping. When I get knocked out, but she's actually waking me up. She can actually hear the noises. They make like a strange noise, and they come from the trees all the way to the rooftop, and then they start coming down, and you can start hearing like the scratches and the noises that they make on the windows.
Oh, wow.
And they don't really fly too high. So knowing that the little boy was not baptized, our son, they go after that. You could hear the noises, you could hear the background, and it's really kind of a little creepy. So yes, she counted that, and it's something that they believe that is true. You know, you could hear the laughing in the background, and it's just crazy. It's just a little creepy on that side. So I believe that what you guys were talking, I kind of believe that it's something that it is possible that is real.
Wow. Well, I think that every culture has their own rendition of what we call a witch type entity, right? Santo Domingo has a lot of folklore on the witchcraft and the occult, right? Are there any other incidents that you've heard of in that, I guess what we call pueblo, that involves the same kind of thing, or is it just a common thing that happens in DR?
Well, I think this is something common. That's something common. But knowing the stories and hearing a lot of people that, especially in Haiti, that is just really close, if you know, for Santo Domingo.
Oh yeah.
They believe in witchcraft and all that stuff and brujeria, and there's a lot of stories that be happening with it that I encountered myself, not really, but I believe that the stories from neighbors, and they say stories like I don't know if you guys heard of La Mano Blanca, something like that.
La Mano Blanca, La Ciguapa, El Galipote. There's a lot of cryptids in Santo Domingo, but yes, La Mano Blanca is something we do have to talk about. And thank you for bringing it up, because being that you made that request, we'll definitely put it on one of our episodes to talk about.
Pero tu esposa se ve que sabe mucho, porque la escuché hablando allá atrás que decía que vuela bajito, que la bruja vuela.
Sí, exactamente. Ella me estaba ahora mismo explicando, como dice, ya nació allá. Yo soy puertorriqueño, pero he ido para allá de vacaciones con ella, y ella siempre me está explicando, y ella siempre dice eso, que pasan muchas cosas así en Santo Domingo.
Es verdad que le echan sal al techo, le echan sal.
Tú sabes que es bueno que yo le pregunte eso, le voy a preguntar eso, porque es algo, ellos preguntaron si le echan sal al techo para prevenir que entren. She doesn't believe so in this part.
So, ¿qué hacen para prevenir?
¿Qué hacen para prevenir? Espérate.
Cuando uno le escucha, uno le dice, puede venir mañana a buscar sal.
Pues parece que ellos como que dicen, pueden venir para atrás. So, can you come back to get...
Quien pase primero en la mañana es ahí.
Y el que pase primero en sal. So I guess they have a certain word to actually speak to the witch, like to scare them away.
Wow.
So it talks about, like, yeah, you can come back tomorrow to get salt. I guess that's what you meant.
So, you know, they call that trickster craft, right? Basically, you're confusing the witch. You're telling the witch, hey, listen, come here tomorrow and get some salt. And the first person who shows up in the morning
that's the person.
Is the person who's the witch.
Oh, okay. Yes. So this is strange.
Eso da miedo. Yo lo escuché. Y yo
so yes, she said that she actually heard it. You know, me, I sometimes when you want to experience stuff, it doesn't happen. You know, but yes, these are the things in the stories. I believe that there's a lot of things that happen in Caribbean places like that.
Wow. All right. So Edwin, we just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and joining in on the call. It is awesome to hear what you got to say. Do me a favor. I have your number stored. So go to the Principal shop and pick your shirts for you and your spouse, and we'll make sure we deliver them to you.
I appreciate that, guys. Keep up the good work, man, and I love the show. And thanks you very much, guys.
Alrighty, you have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Wow.
I got a comment from Kid Dance that this episode is getting better by the minute. Wow.
So yeah, it all starts with. Is something happening here? It started with the ghost. It started with paranormal activity on Friday. Yeah, it was great.
I'm telling you, those witches are crazy.
So yeah, thank you so much. The lines are open, so we'll continue on with the show. Let's go back to our In Search of Aliens because they matter.
They matter.
Yeah. So constellation sextant, allegiance unknown, the intent is unknown. I already described the whole war thing going on. This one is an intelligent species, so intelligent that they have the fastest craft of all species.
Wow.
Right? But here's the thing. They've been to Brazil, specifically Varginha, Brazil, many times, and then they get arrested.
What?
Yeah.
They get arrested. Speeding?
No. So based on the context is that their spacecraft crashed, and I guess the military intelligence of Brazil apprehended them, and I guess someone paid billions of dollars to release them to only end up in Brazil again. So
gotcha.
It's a funny story, but I found it a little weird though, because there's nothing else they have, right? Outside of that. I don't know if you want to just read through the notes, but
I kind of have the same facts, I think. Let me double check. It says they come from the constellation Sextans. On their one of their ship crashes outside of Varginha, Brazil, 1996. Two of its occupants are under U.S. custody after having paid millions of dollars to the Brazilian government. Oh, so the Brazilian government apprehended them, and then the U.S. Bailed them out.
Well, here's the problem I had. I thought this was a joke altogether, right? Because they're part of the Sextans constellation, and they go to Varginha, Brazil,
right?
So I was like, wait a minute, this is a joke. And it just so happens there is a Varginha, Brazil, and there is a constellation called Sextant, right? But the joke's on me.
Yeah,
it's like a fool me once, shame on me.
Fool me too.
Fool me twice. Well, if you get fooled once, you can't get fooled again. That's one of those situations.
The last sight was in February 2002 near Varginha, Brazil. And I'm going to say in Spanish, so I can translate this. La raza Accard de extraterrestres proviene de la constelación Sextans. Dice que uno de sus naves se estrelló en el área en Brasil, en un área llamada Varginha, en el 1996. Y todos sus ocupantes fueron puestos en custodia por las autoridades de Brasil. Y parece que Estados Unidos se enteró y decidió pagarle a Brasil una suma de dinero para que se los entregaran a ellos. Me imagino, para ellos tenerlo para hacerle estudios o whatever. Y dice que ellos es una de las razas alienígenas con las naves más rápidas. Y que la última vez que se vieron fueron en febrero del 2002 en Varginha, Brasil.
Yo pienso que algo en Brasil le gusta que están yendo para allá.
El carnaval.
Para el carnaval, eso es. Pero, yeah, so without further ado, I think that this is a open and shut case of an alien who's exploring the world or the earth, and they fell in love with Brazil.
Yeah.
And they got apprehended.
Who won to fall in love with Brazil?
That's right. It's such a beautiful place.
Exactly.
Filled with culture, filled with a lot of a lot of entertainment, a lot of value. So, yeah, the Accard. I'm one of the Accards, by the way.
You see, this is my real voice. How about the Accards?
So yeah, so without further ado, the Accard video.
Let's hit it.
The Accard, constellation Sextans, Little is known about the species' organic makeup and what their intentions are with Earth. They have been spotted in Brazil. Reports of a UFO crashing in 1996 at the location of Varginha, Brazil, has been documented. Rumor has it, 2 surviving aliens were detained and interrogated. The rumors indicate that the Brazilian government was paid billions of dollars for the release of the species. They are also known to have the fastest ship of all the alien races. They were last seen again in February 2002 in Varginha, Brazil.
Alrighty, so let's now go to the next segment. And this one is my personal favorite because I'm a fan of the bad guys. You remember Razor Ramon?
Yep.
Say hello to the bad guy. Right? But this is it. This is the one that rules them all and controls them all.
The race Matra.
The Matra.
Say that again? The Matra.
There you go. So what do we know about the Matra?
Is there's one called Mitra too, right?
No, so the Matra is the race, but the race Matra is the group. In other words, they just named it after themselves.
Gotcha.
So this is the actual race that built the evil empire.
Okay.
Right? So they're from constellation Megapi, right? Their allegiance, of course, the race Matra.
race Matra, okay.
Their goal is really to take over Earth and enslave the human species.
Wow.
They can live up to 120 years. They're a hermaphroditic race.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So they got both parts.
crazy.
And they're considered by other aliens a parasitic species. I wonder what that means.
That means that there is a race that a parasite they fed up from another species.
So it probably needs a host.
Not necessarily. They're probably using. They could be putting another race a slave. You know what I mean?
So here's what I think
using
about
them. You know what I mean?
Here's what I think about a parasite. It does a couple of things. One, it needs a host.
Mm-hmm.
So a parasite that's kind of like the rules behind it. 2, it can do several things. 1, it can mutate the body. It can ingest the body, right? It can take the shape of the body over time,
Yeah.
or it can control. I think this species is a mastermind.
Yeah, they're probably using other species to do their will. You know what I mean?
I'm a Matra too. Really? I control everybody. Oh my god.
So
That's scary.
So there you have it. The race. So I found this one very interesting. The design for this one was really hard for me to like envision. But then I said, these guys are in it for power. They want to conquer. They want to take over. So I created like an organic crown over the head. There's different iterations of it. There's some that don't have it. There's some that do. There's some that have like this scientific approach to things. But I think overall, this species of alien is an amazing one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, imagine to control the other species, and they're also smart, powerful as well. You know what I mean? They need to be the big dog in outer space.
Well,
you know?
that's not true. That's not true. I mean, who was Napoleon?
Well,
He was a small guy in a horse, but he controlled a lot of people.
a lot of people.
So you don't necessarily need power. You need to have the gift of the gab. You have to know what to say, and you need to know what their weaknesses are. You know, that's why everybody loves Batman, right? Batman knows everyone's weaknesses, and because they're all superhuman except for him,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter because he knows that he could succumb to anything.
exactly.
But these superheroes go crazy when they go, wait, he knows that I'm allergic to kryptonite, right? Like, what's going to happen? So it's kind of like this species knows that. It knows how to manipulate and play into the weakness. They're not necessarily brute strength strong.
Yeah.
They just have the mind. They're like the Lex Luthor
Uh-huh.
of
Of
villains,
DC Comics.
of aliens, right? So
Yeah.
that's what they are.
That's what I like of Batman, because he represents humans, because pretty much is the only human, you know what I mean? That's why I like, and Lex Luthor too, like they're humans, and they somewhere somehow they find a way to be on those superhero level. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So that goes to show you, folks. That goes to show you, folks, that you really don't need to be super strong or super fast. As long as you got this, you can go far and do a lot of great things. Just keep that in mind.
And you forgot to add something there. Very famous words.
Go ahead.
With great power comes great responsibility.
You know, we're going to have to do this in Spanish. Mira, muchacho, con buena poder, tener buena responsabilidad. But yeah, so just bear that in mind, guys. The race Matra is a real, it's like the real deal. These are the guys that control they're like the tops when it comes to evil, and they control the stuff. And that's all I got to say. So why don't you take the floor and go in Spanish mode? And
Wow. Bueno, vamos a tirarle ahí al español. Mi lengua materna. Dice que la raza Mitra es una de las razas más poderosas de alienígenas. No son buenos, son de los malos. Hay dos grupos. Está el Consejo de los Cinco, que son los buenos, y está la raza Mitra, que son los malos. Estos son los más que mean, como dicen por ahí, los head hancho.
¿Cómo es que dice el Westman?
De bichote.
Esos son los bichotes de los alienígenas.
De los alienígenas. Ellos tienen dos planetas. Tienen dos planetas en la constelación Megopei o Megopi. Tienen las estaturas de ellos son semejantes a los humanos. Por otras razas alienígenas son considerados como parásitos. Quiere decir que se alimentan de otras especies o pueden habitar el cuerpo de otra especie, o quizá utilizan otra especie para hacer su objetivo, ¿no? Dice que visitaron la Tierra en los tiempos prehistóricos, fecha desconocida. Dicen que abiertamente ellos secuestran humanos. Tienen en uno de sus metas es colonizar la Tierra. No ha pasado todavía. Porque la protección por la protección de las otras razas alienígenas que están al favor de nosotros, que se llama el Consejo de los Cinco. Que no son 5 razas, son más de 5 razas, ¿verdad?
Sí, son más
de 5 razas, pero esos son razas que se preocupan por la humanidad, por los humanos, no solamente, ¿verdad? Hay otras razas que nos quieren destruir, quieren estudiar, no quieren comernos, qué sé yo, quieren conquistar la Tierra.
O hacerlo esclavo.
O hacernos esclavos, exacto. Dicen que ellos son hermafroditas, que tienen ambos, eso significa que tienen ambos sexos. Dice que su vida, ellos pueden llegar hasta 120 años, más o menos como los humanos. Se supone que lleguemos a 120 años, pero con todo lo que comemos hoy día, pues, lamentablemente, pues no.
Es el pernil.
Y el pernil. Y los pasteles. Dicen que ellos han colonizado más de 26 planetas y han secuestrado más de 5,000 humanos de raza hombre, ¿sabes? Masculina. Han visitado la Tierra más de 200 veces y que la última vez que se vieron en la Tierra fue en septiembre del 2006 cerca de Alaska en territorio americano. ¡Wow!
Interesante. That's my word, by the way. I say interesting. So there you
Yo
go.
se la he robado esa palabra.
So yeah. So all in all, I
La-
think this is a great evil race.
La mía era nice.
Nice. I thought it was what up.
También.
So yeah. I think this is a great race, right? It is what it's supposed to resemble. It's the shit. I'm pardon my language. It is the real deal. This is the granddaddy of them all.
Quería añadir ahí en español. Esta información nosotros no nos las inventamos de la cabeza. Esto es de un libro que el hombre aquí consiguió. El libro es... ¿Cómo fue la historia del libro? El libro fue en la Segunda Guerra Mundial, ¿no? ¿Fue que
Sí,
fue?
fue de la Segunda Guerra.
De la Segunda Guerra Mundial, pertenecía a los rusos.
Sí.
Era. Y aparentemente no sé cómo llegó a las manos de estadounidenses o algo así.
Sí, una persona heredó el libro y lo compartió con un americano.
Exacto. Y de ahí que nosotros estamos sacando esta información donde si ves los pasados episodios, sé que no hablábamos en español, estaba en inglés, pero ahí puedes ver las diferentes razas que hemos hablado, hemos cubierto de extraterrestres y de los buenos, los malos y etcétera, etcétera.
You know, this is starting to remind me of us like really having to do like some primer impacto type show, right?
Exclusivo, primer impacto.
What was the other one? Oh, ocurrió así.
Ocurrió así.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Ocurrió así de noche.
Yeah, you do it in Spanish and I'll do Unsolved Mysteries, right?
Nos encontramos aquí en la carretera número 2 de Cagua, donde ha aterrizado una nave espacial.
So yeah, I think this is great, right? And I think the audience will be in for a treat for the video.
Good.
So should we go?
Ladies and gentlemen, the race Matra. The Matra, constellation Megapod, considered by many alien races parasites. They are an invasive species that conquers planets. The original creators of the race Matra, their goal is to colonize Earth and enslave humans. This has yet to happen due to the war with the Council of Five. The species have colonized over 26 planets. They have abducted humans for unknown reasons. They have visited Earth over 200 times. The last time they were seen was in Alaska in 2006.
So that ends, sadly, our In Search of Aliens for the week.
That was a very interesting and nice and what a video.
I think that I just think that we're we don't want to make this too serious, right? And we're having fun with the discussion pieces because we want to keep this open and honest and just again repeat the same thing that we've repeated the first 2 or 3 episodes. So let me just point the camera. We don't take ourselves too serious. Yes, we find intrigue and awe in the spectacle that is cryptids, aliens, mythology, and the sort, right? What we want to do is create a safe space where people can engage in these conversations and not feel uncomfortable because society dictates otherwise. And not only that, we're not experts. We are you, the enthusiast, the person who's interested in knowing this stuff, and we're slowly learning about it and just sharing that information. Yes, disclaimer, super important to know. We're not telling you that all this is real. We're just gathering the facts and presenting them. It is for you to decide if you believe it in or not. This is for all intents and purposes for entertainment purposes only. So let's go back to our group scene.
Let me add something there.
Oh, wait, Mr. Frank. Say it in Spanish.
Oh, I'm going to say something in English and in Spanish. I want to add to whatever he said, he's right. But I just want to clarify something. We are like you, but just better good looking. And now, hablando en español ahora, Más o menos lo que dijo J-Rock ahí. Nosotros no somos expertos en el tema. No somos profesionales en esto. Pero sí tratamos de traerte lo más, ¿cómo te digo? Las historias bien interesantes.
Contenido.
El contenido más accurate, más preciso que podamos conseguir. Nosotros hacemos nuestro research. No es que venimos a hablar aquí como el papagayo. ¿Tú me entiendes? A veces buscamos videos y cosas que sean relacionados al tema del que estamos hablando para poder empaparnos más del tema y traerle a ustedes pues lo que queremos compartir y lo que ustedes vean. Ustedes eligen si es verdad o mentira. Nosotros damos nuestra pura opinión. Tampoco recomendamos que vayan a hacer esto, vayan a hacer lo otro o que vayan a averiguar por su cuenta. Si van a averiguar por su cuenta, háganlo por la computadora, ¿sabes? Pero no lo vayan a los sitios, tú sabes. Pero sí, nos gusta traerle a ustedes una impresión buena y pues no lo tomamos muy en serio. A veces tiramos nuestra broma y qué sé yo acá. Sí, la parte de lo que es el research y la cosa lo tomamos en serio porque queremos traerle a ustedes un contenido. Pues para eso tenemos que hacer un research y buscar unas cosas y eso sí lo tomamos en serio, pero mientras hablamos, chisteamos, la pasamos bien. La idea es pasarla bien, que ustedes sean felices allá, viéndonos, se rían y a la misma vez le traemos compartir y que la pasen bien mientras ven el show, ¿me entiendes? Eso quería decir. Gracias.
Y aparte de eso, él dice que él es, apariencia, él aparenta más mejor good looking que yo.
No que él, él dijo que nosotros somos como ustedes y yo dije, sí, somos como ellos, pero más bonitos, dije yo. Eso fue lo que yo dije.
So, moving on, let's see. Please, the lights better not go off.
¿Quién está aquí?
I think that's what started the whole lights from
Yo
triggering
creo.
that piece there.
Si hay una entidad aquí fantasmagórica que haga un sonido,
Ay, Dios mío.
pero que siempre hace dos en vez de uno.
Uno, ¿verdad? Después que no lo haga 3 veces, estamos bien. All right, so without further ado, it's time for the paranormal segment.
What up? What up? What up? Paranormal segment.
All right, folks. So this is my favorite part, personally. Why is that? What is paranormal? Why don't you just tell me what?
The best the description or definition of paranormal is something that is not normal
Or abnormal?
or abnormal or out of normal.
Yes.
Wow, we should be we shouldn't be here. We should be working at NASA or something like
Yeah, I
that.
think so. So what we do is we go into the interwebs, or I like internet space, right?
Internet.
And we go to places like TikTok, Instagram, and other sources, and we look up videos. For the past couple of episodes, we've done a lot of TikTok stuff because TikTok has been predominantly more dominating in terms of like content, right?
I was gonna ask you something, and this is a very important thing that it's been running in my mind for a while. I think that since we started the podcast. Should we call ourselves YouTubers or TikTokers?
We're social influencers.
Oh my god! I never thought of it like that.
Yeah. I think that's the
Wow.
new term. I
Wow.
we're entertainers.
Entertainers.
Social media entertainers.
Wow.
I like that better.
Social media
because we don't necessarily
entertainers.
influence anyone in terms of like we're not sending a specific driven message. I think influence is a strong word, and I think that if I'm going to do anything about social media or social influencing, is matter of fact, let me just turn the camera to me for a second. And this is going to segue into something very serious. I take this to heart. Frank laughs about it. I
No.
don't. But I do this with the intention that me and Frank had, and Kid Dan was a testament to that. So Kid Dan, thank you so much for always being there and being supportive. When we started this show, it started off as a discussion piece in a backlot. And in that discussion, someone said, I believe his name was Frank.
Yeah.
He said, man, you're really good at this stuff. Like, you should start a podcast. And I told him, hey, you know what? Let's do it. And I did it under the pretense that thoughts become things. And me and Frank ventured off on this as an adventurous, let's have fun, let's do it. And slowly but surely, here we are, 10 episodes in, right? It's important for you to understand the power of positivity and taking action.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are important. You have something to leave in this world behind. You have a message to send. And when we talk about all these cryptids and creatures, we disguise the truth. And that truth is that you matter, that you have a story to tell, that you in your life are going to achieve something phenomenal. But you have to put it to action. And that's what we did. We put it to action. Right. And I'm really proud.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Are we superstars? Well, not yet. You know, that's the goal. But here we are today, and we're pushing forward. And we're 2 episodes away from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
We have a ton of adventures that we're going to go deal with so that we can pre-record and set for season 2. And yes, because we want to tell our story. We enjoy what we do. And we want to leave something behind for the next people coming up, right?
Exactly.
So that's my serious positive statement. If we can do it, so can you.
Exactly.
And so paranormal, paranormal. That was the most paranormal thing I've done this season. But it's important.
That came from the heart.
Yes, and it's because the human condition needs to know that. You know, when I say the human condition, all of us as a human species, we need to remind ourselves that we are important.
And
we are here for a reason.
When you think about it, how long we've been doing this?
3 months.
And we almost to 100 subscriber.
100.
Almost
clips.
to 100 subscriber, like more than 100 videos, right?
Right.
And you know, we've been here hitting it hard, you know, doing it for you guys. You know, we want to bring out this content. I know there's a lot of people out there that had an experience. Sometimes they're shy, they don't want to talk about it. But guess what? We're here for you. You can always call, tell your story like Edwin did, you know, and or Jacob, give us an idea. The other kid, Isaiah's friend also give us an idea. So, I mean, we want to make this, this is a big project, you know. We want to make you guys comfortable to call and give your experience. That way we can share it to the world. That's all we want.
All right. And now, on to the first video. So, what are we going to do? We're going to show you a video that we got from TikTok. Of course, we always cite our sources.
Oh, yeah.
You want to say that in Spanish before we go to the first video?
Vamos a enseñarle unos videos ahora de misterio o paranormales. Normalmente los buscamos en TikTok porque siempre hay mucha variedad. Y nos gusta siempre decir de dónde tomamos el video para que así pueda la persona, ¿verdad? Tenga su éxito también, ¿no? También vean que de dónde viene. Si usted quiere ver esa página, puede verla y todo. So, estamos aquí.
So on to the first video. Say that again. Sorry.
Let's watch the video. Vamos a ver el video.
that video, oddly enough, I was looking for a name, but there isn't one on it. However, I'll make sure to tag it on the comments, so that they know where it comes from. But basically, it's a Japanese ghost video, and basically it shows like the head peering out of the closet, and when he goes in the closet, the head or the figure is on top looking in.
It is me. Those Japanese ghosts are the worst,
Oh, they're the creepiest.
right?
The way they move, it's
Right.
insane. But I think the next video is weird.
Isn't the ring was like a Japanese?
Yeah, so you had the ring, and then you had I think it's called Juon. There's a lot of different Japanese movies that really showcase this stuff.
Wow.
So I think it's worth looking at the Japanese creepy videos, is what I call them. Some of them, believe it or not, are a lot of CGI and stuff. So you know, you
Yeah.
could pick them apart, but even though they're CGI, they're freaking
scary.
awesome.
They're
They're well
freaking-
done. What do you got?
I got a comment here for Mr. Jacob. He says he agrees to Kid Dan. He says this is probably my favorite episode. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so the next video goes video 2.
Questions about my dog Cracker. He's half Cocker Spaniel and Australian Shepherd. I rescued him. He's from Japan. Do you want a treat? Yeah? You want a treat?
Did you see that? So let's see if we can catch this, because this one is interesting. So she's talking about a dog.
Questions about my dog Cracker. He's half Cocker Spaniel and Australian Shepherd. I rescued him. He's from Japan.
So there's a face in that closet.
Wow.
Now there's another video going along around social media with the same, but it's more, they just like enhance the image, and it is not a dog. It is a demonic face, and
Wow.
it looks something out of like The Exorcist.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But it's the same girl?
Yeah, it's the same girl. So she's saying that she got a specific dog breed, and it's hiding in the closet. Whether this is real or not, what I like about it is that it kind of showcases
Questions about my dog
a whole
Cracker.
different experience. There you have it,
Oh, wow.
right there. So if you could see to the left of her face, right on the closet, there's what appears to be a face, smiling face, or like an evil face. But this one is crazy.
That's
But I'll tell you what, it's not crazier than the next one, because this one didn't let me sleep for a couple of days. So let's take a look. That is somebody in their car, and there's a person with red eyes, all tarred up. It looks like they have hair around their face, like surrounding the perimeter of the face, but they're just grilling there, and they're like, I mean, this is like the stuff of nightmares, right? Like, what if you're in the middle of nowhere late at night? This is, by the way, from El Cucuy TV.
Cucuy.
El Cucuy.
El cucuy.
El Cuco.
Es el cuco.
Not to be confused with Tonio Rosario.
No, but that's
El Cuco del Merengue.
so. You see, those people have done their homework, because el cucuy is another word for el cuco
Or El Coco.
or el coco. Wow,
So that is freaky. Look at that face.
it is. It is.
That's a face that only a mother could love.
Mm.
So something's out there, and if I mean, the thing isn't even moving. The camera's moving, and that thing is not even bothering
It's
to
right
look at
there.
the camera.
Okay.
Like, that's the kind of stuff that if I'm in my car and it's on, I'm flooring it.
I
I'm
just
gone.
pulled my
Now,
glove out.
if I can't floor it, it's gonna stink. 'Cause I'm gonna poop my pants, bro. Like, look at that thing. It's crazy.
I'll be like,
I mean, but you're different, right? You're a man of. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna use the Frank Walls.
His name is Frank Walls, a man on a mission. Has a collection of armaments, all types of guns, and his moniker: one shot, one kill.
hey, it's Florida, man. We're allowed to have that in Florida. I'm licensed.
So yeah, so I'm not saying I wouldn't do it either, but this is the kind of situation that if it's a supernatural entity, there's no armament that you can have that's going to resolve this problem. So, good luck.
Unless you have assault weapon,
Assault blaster.
assault blaster, or they sell it. You know that, right?
Yeah.
To kill a flies.
Bugs, yeah. So, what do you think?
Yeah, it is scary. It is scary. I don't know what I would do, you know.
But the next one is even better, I think. So this is the kind of stuff you got to take home with you, by the way. So this one you're going to take home with you and you're going to go, damn, why did I see this stuff? All right, you ready?
Yeah.
What would you do if you saw your mom in your closet? Posted to Reddit by Cyric545. It looks like their mom was doing a little checkup on them, seeing if they wanted any late night snacks before going to bed.
So
when you see stuff like that, you answer yourself like you question yourself like, I wonder. Every time when I was a kid and my mom used to open the door, it was her all the time, or could be her and it could be an entity too.
So that goes
what I
into
mean?
so we should have a segment on this. For those of you watching now or watching later on the comment section, should we do a doppelganger episode where we talk about doppelgangers? So
Yeah,
that's what that is a doppelganger. It's been trending a lot on TikTok. There's a lot of really cool videos made on it. There's more to it, but basically there's another you that's evil.
Yeah.
So that's what this is, and I just want to refresh the video one more time.
What would you do?
Because imagine that. Look at the statement. First of all, this video is coming from Cyric545. All right, u/Cyric545 at TikTok. But it says, Mom, I thought I just saw you in the kitchen. Why is she in the closet?
That's what it is. That's
then-
what happened to me.
I mean, then look at the face.
We got started.
I mean, look at
If
that
you
face.
saw your mom in your closet. Posted to Reddit by Cyric545.
And it's moving, it's talking.
Mhm.
It just looks really freaking weird. You know, you ever seen Casper Site?
A movie?
No, there's a guy named Casper Site. He's a social media.
No,
he's
no.
a social influencer that does video reviews on that stuff. And if he watches this video right now, he would say, "Look at the chicken! Look at the chicken," which is the goosebumps. But yeah, this is it. This is like the stuff of like you don't want to go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Like you make sure your closet door is locked. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
You want to know a fact? When I grew up, my closet didn't have a door. So I was always staring at the closet before I was going to sleep.
Oh man, that's so sucky.
It was
for you.
bad. It was bad. Then they put curtains.
So you would wake up in the nighttime, Mami, uma pinguada en el cuarto."
Yeah. Then they put curtains, and it was worse.
Oh, we have another call. Distorted Realities, J-Rock on the phone.
Hey guys,
Hi, who's this?
my name is Noelia.
Hi, Noelia. How are you?
Watching, good. Watching your show right now, and it's awesome. You guys rock.
All right. Thank you so much.
And this is super creepy. It reminds me of one of my siblings that used to go in the closet and speak to their imaginary friend. So once I saw that, I thought of it.
Oh, wow. That's insane. So what? So your sibling, they would go
One of
into one of them. Okay. So what are your siblings? Right? They would go in and do what exactly in the closet?
Play with an imaginary friend
Oh,
in the
wow.
dark.
In the dark?
Did the imaginary
Complete
friend have a
dark.
name?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think it was Stefani.
Jafani.
Something like that.
Wow.
It was creepy.
Wow.
Wow.
But I have a request. I want you guys to do an episode on Santeria and Brujeria.
Oh wow.
I think that would be.
That's deep. That's
that'd
very
be
deep.
cool.
All right, so that's occult stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, we have. I think I have a friend who is doing that. Like,
Oh really?
but we call it. They associate it with dark magic, but some people use it for good.
Why magic?
So I can get him to participate on the show and provide details on this. What does that work for you?
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. So
That would be super interesting.
So what are you looking for in terms of black magic? What is it you want to know? Like a general story or general like theory behind it, or do you want to know like a specific thing about it?
Not really, just anything, everything.
Anything and everything. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that we make that happen, and I'll give him a call this afternoon, see if he can join in on the fun.
Yeah,
and he's
That'd be great.
No, he's really a specialist on this, and I know him personally. So I'll make sure to do that. And I want to say thank you for sharing your tale. Again, I have about Jafari. I will make sure to save your number. I will call you after the show, get some details, and I'll send you some free merch.
All right.
Cool.
Cool.
And if you see any specific merch that you saw on the display for today's episode, let us know, and we'll get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good.
You're awesome. Thank you
Bye,
so
guys.
much.
Keep going.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Thank you.
All right.
Wow, this is
So
amazing.
this
today.
closet thing is really working.
Yeah.
So that's another paranormal. You know what's good about this episode? Lights haven't flickered yet.
So far.
No power outages. So, all right. So let's go on to the last one. Last one is
We can do one about imaginary friends too. You know. That's crazy.
So this one is in Mexico, by the way.
La verdad es que un panteón es una de las cosas más tenebrosas, pero no cuando estás con toda la producción y con las luces. Y la neta es que el cerebro aquí empieza a jugar un papel bien importante porque cualquier estupidez, en vez de pensar que es una rama o que es una cruz, pues piensas que es alguien. Y cualquier ruido es un poquito más extremo aquí que en cualquier otro lugar. Y solo pues es un poquito más. Mi ejercicio es este. Y lo propongo para todo aquel que se sienta tan escéptico como yo me sentía antes de entrar a hacer este programa. Retar a lo desconocido es algo que no sé si me atreva, pero pues quiero demostrar mi escepticismo. Creo que este es un buen rincón. Si hay algo despierto en este cementerio, bueno o malo, no les creo nada. Y si existe alguien aquí, algún ser, alguna energía, lo que sea, quiero verlo. Háganme algo, no me importa. Poséanme si quieren, métanse adentro de mí. Creo que me estoy pasando un poco. Háganme lo que quieran, no les creo. Para mí ustedes no existen. Para mí todos los que se jactan de ver este tipo de seres, nomás se están enriqueciendo. Ay, ¿por qué me suena el celular ahorita? Por Dios. Ay. No voy a contestar. Esta es una casualidad de la vida y no va a creer que fue una manifestación. ¡Manifiéstense! ¡San maricas! ¡Hagan algo! ¡Métanse en mi cuerpo si quieren, si existen! Y con todo respeto, para los muertos. Algo cayó, pero yo lo considero una piedra. Cualquier otro hubiera dicho que es una aparición o bla bla bla. No puedo creer que eso hice, porque si esto no lo aventaron los de mi producción. No sé si es cosa mía. No estoy viendo algo ahí. No seas idiota. ¿Qué es esto, güey? No está nada lógico una niña llorando en un cementerio a las 12 de la noche. Bueno, más. A la 1:30. Me escuchar alguien ahí. No seas... Amiga, ¿cómo te llamas? Amiga. Niña. Ay, no seas imbécil. Ya me largo de la... ¡Tavo! ¡Con lentes! ¡Tabor!
That guy ventured too deep into the cemetery and he found out.
It's not a joke.
You know how they say in English, right? Fuck around and find out?
Yeah.
That was it. So basically in that video, he's in the cemetery. He's roaming around. He's doing like a video recording for his show. It's a very well-known show, and it was actually run and owned by Televisa in Mexico.
Wow.
And that gentleman, and I forgot his name, and I'll probably post it in the comments, but he went there, and that was not part of the show.
Okay.
It never made it. It never aired to the show. This was after the fact.
Okay.
There's a woman like lying on a gravesite, and she turns her head. Distorted Reality is J-Rock.
Hey guys,
Hey.
it's me, Coral.
Oh, finally, we got a name.
Wow.
To the actual chatbot. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm watching the episode, loving this episode.
Thank you.
So
I called in because I was so intrigued by the ghost topic.
Which one? The episode on Friday or just the general
The-
paranormal story?
Well, I guess just the overall ghost thing, because I have like I have a lot of creepy things that happened to me as a child, and it like the ghost stuff really resonate with me. Like for example, I'll give you a short of it. As a child, I used to live in a house that was basically haunted by something. I don't know if it was a ghost, a demonic thing, but in that house, I used to get a lot of night terrors, and my mom used to say that I would wake up and see things that weren't there. And the crazy thing is that when we left that apartment, all that went away.
Wow. So can you have you any recollection of you experiencing that yourself?
It was hard because I don't remember much. I do remember one time I had it, and I do remember and I don't know if this is because the apartment was haunted, but I remember one time I was, like my eyes were flickering, and I was seeing these like orbs almost. But when I woke up, my mom was like, "No, your eyes were like closed and everything." But in my head, I saw these orbs. But yeah, crazy experience. Again, don't know if it's associated with the haunted apartment or house, like the whole thing. But yeah, it's creepy.
We should have another paranormal segment. What do you think? Like, should we have like an audio cast that's only dedicated to callers telling their stories? What do you think about that?
Oh, you're speaking to me?
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think because there's just so many people who have experience and in so many different ways. I had experience with my younger brother. We've seen things, and we both were baffled, and just I think people calling in for ghost stories is always great. It's a great thing, and you get to just see different perspective and what happens to them, what they go through, emotions and all that. So I think that would be awesome.
So you said that you used to see like orbs of lights and weird thing going on.
Yeah. So with night terrors, it used to be very dangerous because my mom would say that I would get up and grab knives, and so she would have to wake up and like make sure to like cover things because I would grab always the dangerous things. Like I wouldn't grab like a blanket or a pillow. She says I would grab like knives and
Wow.
scissors and all that.
You said that when you guys move away from that apartment, everything stopped.
Everything stopped. Yeah. There's more stories I can go on, but I know that I think we can save some for another time. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened to me as a child. I think I was just very sensitive to these things, and a lot of people, like a lot of church people, like whether Catholic or Christian, they will always tell me, "Oh, you have such a bright aura and bright light, and you're like very," but all these things happen to me, so I'm like, I don't know why, but maybe because I had a bright aura, I was a target.
You can be so some, you know, you can't have yin without yang. Sometimes light attracts dark, especially with innocence, right? When you're a young child,
Right.
your innocence is a target for a lot of things, especially in spiritual warfare and like those kind of things.
I like that word that you use, spiritual warfare, because that's
See,
what it is.
I'm smart.
We're continuously in a spiritual warfare because it's the forces of evils against the forces of good, and you know,
Right.
sometimes we get caught in the middle, you know.
Yeah. But it's I'm really glad that you overcame this. If all it took is for you to relocate, right? And start a new life. This is only, but I'm pretty sure it was only your childhood.
Childhood, as an adult, I think I freaked myself out, and, you know, because I think the mind plays such a big part when you are an adult. It's different from a child because you're so innocent, right? So you can pick up things easier. As an adult, you're more aware. So I feel like as an adult, I tend to freak myself out, and I'd be like, oh my God, this door just opened by itself, but it's just the vent that the AC turned on, you know? So, and then I start freaking myself out, and all those negative things that I think of start affecting me, but I think it's a mental thing, you know? But as a kid, it's totally different. I think that's more of a, like, I think I just picked up a lot of negative things, like ghost stuff and all that.
Wow. Well, we want to hear some of your stories. We'll make sure to create a separate segment.
Yeah.
I think we should just have a caller segment, right, where people could just call in and tell their stories, and as opposed to us doing like a werewolf legend type audio cast, but do something a little different. Or we can hear your story. We can hear your story, do an AI video to recreate the scenario.
Yeah.
And put the video up while you're sharing your story. What does that sound like?
That sounds awesome. I'm so down to doing this and tell my story and hear other people's story.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. Well, Coral, thank you so much. It's finally good to hear you. And
Yes.
so just a little background. Coral is probably one of our very first viewers, if not the very first viewer next to Kid Dan. She's been consistently in every episode of the show, on the chats on YouTube, and we can't thank you enough for all your love and support.
You're welcome.
In doing so, after the episode is over, we'll make sure to get your information and send you a shirt or a cup of coffee, or not cup of coffee, but el coco coffee.
El coco coffee. There you go.
Or a cup, or anything that you would like Distorted Realities related in terms of merch, and I will send it to you as a thank you for being an avid supporter.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, and thank you guys for making such awesome videos, and like the videos just keep getting better and better every time.
We really appreciate your support.
I think people calling in and telling their stories, whoever's watching and you're hearing this, call, because your story can be heard by so many, and it could only happen here on Distorted Realities.
Yeah, thank you. Look at that, she advocated for us. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
We have a comment in the chat from Kid Dan says that regarding to the video, the other one says that dog is from Timo, the dog that the girl bought.
It was a Timo
It's
dog.
a Timo dog.
So they got it from the TikTok shop. Oh man, this guy's too much.
Oh yeah, and we got Noelia Otero. It says yay, and it says it was a santero doing brujeria.
And that's possible.
Could be.
That's possible.
Could be.
So that concludes our paranormal segment.
Very
what
interesting.
a very good day today in terms of participation and
Yeah.
storytelling, and the content has been pretty good.
And that's what we want, guys. You can always call and share your opinions, share your thoughts, your stories. You can comment in the chat. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Check the merch store. All that. I'm gonna say this in Spanish too. Hemos tenido muchas llamadas hoy. Ha sido un programa muy bueno hasta ahora. Puede llamar en español, no hay problema. Podemos traducir como sea. Si tiene alguna experiencia paranormal o quiere simplemente comentar sobre algún cryptid o alguna leyenda que quiere que nosotros toquemos, puede llamar y decirnos y comparte su historia, su pensar, su sentir. Y estamos aquí para ustedes. Recuerden que pueden darnos likes y se suscriban a la página y checar nuestra mercancía en la tiendita. ¿Ok?
Awesome. So paranormal segment is done, and on to the last one.
Yep.
It's creepy segment time.
Creepy segment.
No, do it again.
It's creepy segment time. Ho, 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 ho.
All right, so creepy segment, folks. So, without further ado, we'll play the video and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm. Let's enjoy the video.
The Marianas Trench, known as the deepest underwater area, seldom visited by humans. With a depth of 200 kilometers, it can fit 2 Empire State Buildings on top of each other. To our discovery, there is biodiversity of strange proportions. Bioluminescent creatures that thrive in this dark, deep ocean has been recorded. There is also evidence of gigantic underwater species of fish and wildlife. So the question becomes, is there more out there? And are the legends true? So let's talk about it.
All right. The Marianas Trench.
Very interesting video.
How would you say that in Spanish? It's one of those complicated words, right?
I know Mariana it will stay the same. Mariana, but trench. La trinchera. Trinchera.
La trinchera de Mariana.
Uh-huh.
All right. So basically this is the deepest part of the world, basically, in terms of depth, right? Based on the research, very brief research, by the way, it lies in the Western Pacific Ocean, closest to Japan.
Wow.
Right? It's 200 kilometers deep. So to give you perspective, you could take, I believe, 2 Empire State Buildings and stack them together, and you would still have enough water to cover both of them, one on top of each other.
Wow.
And basically, this was discovered in 1875. And it was discovered in 1875 by using a weighted rope.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much rope you got to shoot down to get down to the bottom of the trench? I know that a lot of people since then have been using these specialized rovers to send these devices with cameras and lights under the ocean into the trench. And they've made some amazing discoveries, right?
That was James Cameron, right?
James Cameron did it as well, but he wasn't the only one. Everybody defers to him because he's a big cinema guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yes, he has a fascination for it, and rightfully so. He's very brilliant in doing so. But I just don't want to. How can I put it? I don't want to make this about James Cameron because he's a famous person.
Mm-hmm. No, I know, and I know somebody that is more more brave and intelligent than James Cameron.
That's me.
That's J-Rock.
J-Rock. That's right. In the flesh.
In the flesh. Oh yeah.
No. So all jokes aside, James Cameron is a brilliant director, and he does a lot of exploration stuff, right? So he has done a lot of things with deep sea diving. What's been discovered underneath the ocean? Well, the first thing they discovered is that a lot of the species that we normally would see are transformed or morphed to live in such harsh conditions.
And they have inner light.
That's called bioluminescent lighting. Basically, these, because it's so dark, they're so deep in the water and there's so much such a distance between the light that gets reflected from the sun into the water. The light doesn't penetrate that deep, so there's zero visibility. It's literally pitch black.
So you think that alien race that you talk about in one of the episodes, that they were like kind of like translucent,
right?
Do you think they can have a base over there, or maybe?
Well, let's think about it. Whenever I create these species, I take those things into account, right? And yes, it was part of that idea, because the deeper the ocean, the more there is bioluminescent creatures, right? That's been proven. You have jellyfish that are, they have radiating light, different colors pulsating throughout their bodies. You have like these giant fishes that are typically small when they're at a higher depth. Then they're also living in a different ecology. Just because it's deeper doesn't mean that it gets colder. There are areas that are literally littered with volcanic gases that are spewing out and create this really, really hot environment.
In Puerto Rico, there's a place that I think it's Guanica, that they have a bioluminescence.
Right.
And I think there's also a lagoon too.
Right. So what makes this interesting is that recently there have been reports of large, like extremely large creatures. And one of them was captured on video, so I'm going to play that video.
Oh, you got the video?
Yeah. So the first one, it's not, I'm going to hold off on the first one. I'll play the second one because the second one is an actual footage. All right. So this one we got from TikTok.
How about those giant squid that they found on that oil tanker? They had a camera down there.
Yeah, and they saw that one come through.
Giant squid with the crazy, like crab legs.
Yep.
See that
crab
one?
legs? Maybe not.
Never see that one?
With the crab legs? Is he walking along the bottom?
No, it's got it looks like it has appendages.
What?
Like with joints. They had a camera deep under this oil rig and they spotted this thing with these insane long appendages. Look at this.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's different. That's not what I thought you were talking about.
Look at the fucking length of those. What are those things that dangle from it? What'd you call those things?
Tentacles? Legs?
Tentacles, legs. What is it? But look at the legs on it. It's like an insect.
Yeah, that's very bizarre.
But look how weird it is, how it has like clear bends. Like when you see that thing underwater floating around like that looks like an alien.
Totally. That is our exact kind of depiction of what an alien species is.
Go to that green one right next to it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that thing.
I mean, look at that.
It's big.
Right? So basically, that octopus was recorded on a submersible rover, and they caught it. And there's been other reports of other species of animals that are typically small or smaller becoming ginormous. Could this be due to the gases, right? Could this be due? So this led to me looking at
NASA set out to track down and kill a megalodon, in which a fisherman decided to follow their boat, followed them all the way until he supposedly saw them shoot and kill a megalodon before sinking it to the bottom of the ocean, and then the boat's turning around and heading back to shore. This is a real thing. Look it up. There's like all these videos about this. This is like a known thing that apparently NASA on July 23rd of this year, just a week ago, went out, or a month ago, went out and killed a megalodon because they found that one was roaming around.
So they're purporting that there's a satellite. There's a satellite photo of this happening as well, right?
The big mass in the ocean on this satellite
photo. Yeah, this is what's conspiracy theory that this is a megalodon. Now, why would NASA be called in for this job?
See? That does look like. Oh, come.
So that's how big that creature was, right? So this led to me thinking, well, what about the legends, right? The Kraken, the Leviathan, the sea serpent. Maybe those things are just here. They're just really in the deep
it could be hanging out
recesses
on there.
of And there's this other discovery that was made that there is water underneath the deepest water that's very different, right? So this leaves room for the imagination. It leaves room for exploration. It leaves room for scientific discovery. Now, I will tell you this, and this was somewhere on the internet, but the guy that discovered that there's a different water type that's underneath the water. It's almost like more dense. They couldn't necessarily penetrate it. It was almost like eating Jello inside of a water, right? Inside of a water cup. So you could tell the difference between the standard water and the actual Jello. But they found this break in between the waters, and the guy who discovered this is no longer with us. He is officially
he died?
Unalive.
Unalive.
Yeah, so we don't. I don't like using the word killed or die, but
talking a little bit about when you said the Joe Rogan, after you offered me to be in the podcast, Joe Rogan called me.
What did he say?
And he wanted me to be there.
You should have said yes.
No, because I don't betray my friends. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's why you're here.
Exactly. So I just want to let you know that I'm a true person. I'm real.
So Mariana's Trench, a mystery in and of itself. It's open for exploration. It's open to your mind's eye, right? It's open.
What about if that connect to Terra Infinita?
Well, let's think about it. If Terra Infinita tells you that there are different systems outside of what we call Antarctica, right? Then that means that if you can go over it, meaning you go to Antarctica and you go across, then that means you should be able to go under it through underwater tunnels.
That could be an entrance.
So with that, I think it's
that could be an entrance to
another location
or the Hollow Earth.
Or Hollow Earth.
You know what I mean?
So
that could be.
So yeah, Rambo goes at it again.
No, he wanna be part of the show. That's all.
I think so. But this is the end. So let's go back to our group scene.
I got some info here about the Mariana Trench.
All right, so let's talk about it.
It says Mariana Trench redirect here for the Canadian band, the Mariana Trench band. The Mariana Trench is an oceanic trench located at the western Pacific Ocean, about 200 kilometers, 124 miles east of the Mariana Island. It is the deepest oceanic trench on Earth. It is crescent-shaped and measures about 2,550 kilometers, 1,580 miles in length.
So somebody wanted to correct you.
Oh, really?
En español es las fosas de las Marianas.
Oh, fosas. There you go.
Thank you, whoever sent that message.
Thank you. And it says, its length is 69 kilometers, 43 miles in wide. The maximum node depth is 10,984. Wow, meters. So that's a lot. And it says the shaped valley is floor known as the Challenger Deep.
Yeah.
The deepest point in the trench is more than 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles farther from the sea level than the peak of Mount Everest. Wow. So you can put Mount Everest there.
Pretty much.
Wow. At the bottom of the trench, the water column above exerts a pressure of 1,086 bar. That's 15,750 psi.
So you know what would happen to your body at that point, right?
That's more than 1,071 times the standard atmospheric pressure. So
you would shrink and burn and implode.
Yeah, you explode. Wow.
Wow. So that's pretty much Mariana's Trench for you. It's just one of those exciting places that leaves room for exploration and for curiosity.
It says the Mariana Trench is named after the nearby Mariana Island, which are named the Las Marianas in honor of Spanish Queen Mariana of Austria. The islands are part of the island arc that is formed on an overreading plate, called the Mariana Plate, also named for the island on the western side of the trench. Wow.
Wow. All right.
Interesting.
Sure is. So, I guess this is the end of the show.
You know, I saw that they're close to Japan. Maybe Godzilla, that's where he hides.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible.
Could be. Could be. You never know.
So, any last comments from the folks?
I got Korai says, so glad I got to talk to you without the kids, guys. Well, thanks for the calling, Corrales. Now Noelia Otero says she has an evil laugh. Jacob Castro said, you guys see they discovered a huge body of water below the earth mantle, supposed to be over 400 miles below us.
Yeah, so that's Jacob, to answer your question. If you look at the biblical text, when they created the firmament, it was to separate the waters above from the waters below. And I think what they're trying to refer to is we're at sea level and we have a certain distance. After that, what ends up happening is we have another set of water that's meant to keep us from going beyond that, which is the waters below. So yeah, so that's kind of like what it's for. Then there is video footage of that discovery. It was just strange how that individual allegedly is no longer with us.
We got a message here.
So we have a message from Janet, right? And she says, she is the #1 fan.
Wow.
And she would like to discuss more on the themes of the Marianas. It's very interesting. Puerto Rico has a location, a trench as well.
Yeah.
Me and Frank did discuss that. And we are gonna look into it and see what the differences are. But as I know, Marianas is the deepest in all of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But another discussion piece.
Yeah.
Right. So we got Santeria and Brujeria, and we have Ghost Tales that we gotta now create an opening for you guys who like and subscribe and join and want to tell your story or hear a story from us. Yeah, it's been a very exciting day today.
A really, really good episode. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for hitting like, subscribe, and all that, and stay tuned and commenting in the chat. And thank you a lot for the calls. We really appreciate that.
So, you good? You
Yeah.
want to say that in Spanish now?
Queremos darle gracias a todos los que han estado participando en el chat, los que han estado llamando. Muchas gracias. Agradecemos de corazón, de verdad que sí. De mí para ti.
I like that. Boom.
Yeah.
All right. So, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who participated today. Edwin, Noelia, Corrales, Kid Dan, Jacob, who else?
Janet.
Janet, #1 fan. According to her, she's the #1 fan. Edwin and his wife. So a lot of this was well constructed today and well prepared. And we gave you a lot of information in the beginning, and we jumped into all these segments. A lot of this wouldn't be done without your help, support, contribution, and participation. So from the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thank you.
Kid Dan.
Yes, Kid Dan.
100. I agree.
Yes. So we hope you like the material. We have some more news. This season ends in 2 more episodes.
Yep.
So what does that mean for you, the viewer? You will be, you won't be seeing Distorted Realities for about 2 months. However, you will see the audio podcast continue, as well as the AI video short stories, not shorts. All right. So we're going back to Moonbase Z. We're gonna talk about the Lost Fortune, which is a new story that we're creating. And we're going to start taking viewers' stories and recreating them as AI tales, right? And I think this is a good segue to doing things while we're not missing it, while we're missing in action, because we're going to go and do some exploration, I guess is the word. We have a lot of promises that we have to keep.
For next season, I'm going to become a father from the Catholic Church. So I probably will not be here.
So,
and we're gonna go do some adventures. We're gonna call them the J Rock and Frank Walls adventures.
No, I like Case Files.
Case File. Oh, better, yeah.
J Rock and Frank Walls. Case Files.
Case Files.
So we have a lot of things to do, but the show is ended. We want to say thank you. Send your love and support to all your friends and families out there. Tell them, hey, listen, you gotta watch this show. It's great. And tell them to like and subscribe. Just remember the Printify shop. We have the email. And outside of that, we are signing off.
Thank you for everything, guys.
So without further ado, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll talk next week.
Have a good one.